Mind calm, body at ease, breathing quiet, sentiment Dharma friends, sitting still in vital silence, wanting nothing, we practice eco-Buddhism sound of the temple bell booms for all to cease from conflict. May the way of Buddha usher in the dawn of nonviolent global village forever. Here is the after sound of thunder of silence, light after Dharma rain. Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padme Jvala Pravartaya
Please stand and join me in chanting the three refuges. So we'll take refuge in Buddha Dharma Sangha, first in Sino-Korean, out of respect to our lineage, and then in English. So please just feel your feet connecting with the floor beneath you. If you wish, bring right and left sides of your body together, palms touching, and this gesture we call Pakcham. Take a moment to enjoy your breath. And then throw your voice in as best you can. I go for refuge to the Buddha.
I go for refuge to the Buddha.
And resolve with all beings.
and resolve with all beings.
I will cultivate a heart of enlightenment
I will cultivate a heart of enlightenment
and realize the great way.
and realize the great way.
I go for refuge to the Dharma
I go for refuge to the Dharma
and resolve with all beings.
and resolve with all beings.
I will penetrate the teachings
I will penetrate the teachings
and uncover oceans of wisdom.
and uncover oceans of wisdom.
I go for refuge to the Sangha
I go for refuge to the Sangha
and resolve with all beings.
and resolve with all beings.
I will seek peace and happiness for the many
I will seek peace and happiness for the many
and transform this world into Buddha lands unimpeded.
and transform this world into Buddha lands unimpeded.
Please return to your places for another shorter period of meditation. Please join me in some mindful stretching as an end to our meditation practice. Breathing as we do these exercises, massaging the scalp, the top of the head. There are pressure points along the skull that are connected with our breathing. Helpful to take care of ourselves in this way. And then massage the ears and the tops all the way down to the earlobes. Pressing your knuckle against your nostril. Breathing. Stretching the lower back by leaning forward on your hands and looking up. Nice upward stretch. And then stretching out as far as you can. Stretching upwards again. And then to the left. To the right. Clasping the hands behind your back and leaning forward. And as we sit up, we move into a spinal twist, massaging the spine, first to the left. Then to the right. And placing your hands at the base of your trunk, which is a nice upper body support. Reversing direction. Placing your right hand over your left rib cage, lean toward the right. And then reversing. Clasping the hands behind the head, sharp outward breath. Listen to the left, to the right. looking upwards, bringing the arms upwards, and then we'll drop our arms and do abdominal breathing. So thank you for joining me in refreshing our bodies. Deal with the microphone, you can hear me okay? All right, very good. Welcome to the Zen Buddhist Temple. It's so nice to see all of you here. Today, we're going to begin our Dharma sharing with a little bit of chanting practice. So please join me, and then as we move along, you'll see how this unfolds. So the chanting that we're going to do was taught to us by our founder, Samu Sunam, who came from the mountain monasteries of Korea to North America and established temples about 60 years ago. He passed away this last year, but we still honor and treasure his traditions. So this is one of them. So the chanting we're doing is Ma'un. So when you open your mouth, you say Ma. Ma. When you close your mouth, you say Om. Ma. Om. Ma. Om. So you can feel how that resonates. As we begin the chanting, I'm turning off my microphone so I don't blast you out of here. And those of us who know the chant, begin with me, and then the rest of you, as you pick it up, please just join in. So it goes like this. Ma, 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 Let us contemplate on our mind being peace. breathing slowly and deeply. Let us contemplate on our mind being love. Let us contemplate on our mind being happiness. Our mind is peace. Our mind is love. Our mind is happiness. So our founder, Venerable Swami Sun, had comments on why we chant. So I'd like to read that to you now. The obvious questions that follow are, why do we chant sounds? What does this have to do with the Dharma? What does this have to do with me and my life? Why am I hanging out with people who make incomprehensible sounds together? In order to appreciate the function of sound and its relationship to consciousness, we need to see how certain sounds create a particular state of consciousness. The best way to understand this is to recall when you are in pain and your whole body is aching, to simply groan, oh, feels good. Making that sound releases the tension and relieves the pain. Similarly, when you are feeling great, you want to shout with joy, yippee! The shout expresses the feeling that has built up inside you. Chanting is sound practice. It is another form of meditation where the mind and body is filled with sound. It engages the emotions as well as the intellect. I can remember learning the evening bell gata. I struggled and struggled to make even a pleasant sound. I remember being told to relax, and it will get better when it moves from the head to the heart. So the reason I wanted to begin with chanting practice this week is this past week, one of our very famous Buddhists, although you may not have known she was Buddhist, passed away. How many of you have ever heard of Tina Turner? Tina Turner was a mega rock star, and she was so well appreciated that as a female artist, she sold more tickets to her concert than any female artist in history. The interesting thing about Tina Turner, she passed away when she was 83. She was really kind of a lifelong Buddhist. She practiced Buddhism for 50 years. The Buddhism that she practiced, Nichiren Buddhism, is mainly, their main practice is chanting practice. And so the chanting practice that they do is Nam Myo Ho Renge Kyo. Nam Myo Ho Renge Kyo. And if you look on YouTube or search the internet, you can find these various examples of her doing this chanting in a very deep and beautiful sort of way. So Tina Turner actually credits this practice with saving her life, having been through some very difficult times in the midst of a difficult relationship that ended in divorce. Growing up in rather poor circumstances, she encountered this chanting practice when she was about 30, and she embraced it wholeheartedly. And so here are some words from an interview with Tina Turner about her chanting. This is a transcendent feeling when I chant and feel one with all life. There is also a feeling, this is also the feeling I have when I perform, when I'm transported by the energy of giving and receiving love on stage. One of my favorite moments in my shows was dancing on the metal crane that swept out over the audience. From my perch, I could see the individual faces, look into their eyes, experience their joy in the music, and feel a strong connection. I walked off the stage each night, overwhelmed by the memory of color, light, sounds, and thousands of smiling faces I saw before me. So when I read these words, it makes me think that chanting has a lot to do with cultivating joy. At least in her experience, it was very much kind of a joy cultivation practice. In our breakfast discussions this week and last week, we brought up this topic of joy. So in Buddhism, we start with the Four Noble Truths. The first noble truth being basically that suffering exists, so we acknowledge that it exists. And our practice is to learn to work with that suffering in a skillful way. So as we do that, sometimes it's easy to get into these pretty heavy discussions about the suffering and how it is that we're working with it. And when we were sitting at breakfast, Brother Fafu reminded us that it's also important to cultivate joy. And so how do we do that? And so I've been thinking about that this week and asking other people what their practice is in cultivating joy. So I'm going to share some of that with you. First of all, in a Buddhist context, when we talk about joy, it's one of the four Brahma Viharas, the four divine abodes, and these are four types of love that we cultivate. And so those four are loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity. So it's interesting that it's not joy, just separate joy, but sympathetic joy, which implies that it is some sort of relationship. And that's a very important part of the practices. So one of the people I was talking to about, we were sharing experiences of joy and how we cultivate joy. And this person said that when they experience joy, this sense of separateness disappears. Sort of like Tina Turner, when she's feeling this sense of oneness with her audience. When we experience joy, we find that we're easily pleased. Even the smallest thing can be so pleasing to us. So this morning, for example, as I look up, I'm very pleased by the lanterns that are hanging above us with the dedication swaying in the breeze, and the nice service that we had last week. Looking out the window, I see the trees, the green of the trees, feeling a nice cool breeze. All sorts of things, little things bring us joy if we allow ourselves to go into the present moment. Another thing about the experience of joy is it creates a sort of a spaciousness in our mind so that we can hold the suffering without becoming so overwhelmed by it. And so I encountered this other story because some of you might be sitting here in some form of suffering, thinking, yeah, joy practice, yeah. Not something I want to do right now, not feeling in the mood or whatever. So this little story came from some book called Awakening Joy, 10 Steps That Will Put You on the Road to Real Happiness. And this is by, I think James Raz is the author of the book. So this person said, I tend to ask myself, what do I have to be joyful about? I'm still out of work, I'm overweight, and the relationship in my life I was hoping for didn't happen. But slowly, with just this one question, the question, what do I have to be joyful about? And being in the present moment, I've begun to realize my answer is everything. I'm alive. I'm facing my difficulties. I'm actually living my life and not hiding from my pain. I realize that I'm just happy to be here. I can feel my breath, the sun on my face, the movement in my limbs as I go walking, the pleasure of smiling, laughing, and singing. It's not delusion or hiding or shutting down in denial. It's being present and taking things one moment at a time. So, to me, this brings up the idea of joy, that joy is kind of a choice that we have in each and every moment. That we can sort of wallow in the unpleasantness of what's going on, or it's almost like flipping a little switch that you can choose instead to focus on and to cultivate the joy instead. So I also asked this question, how do you cultivate joy in your life? And I'm going to be interested in hearing your responses to this in a moment. One of the practices we do here at the temple and in most forms of Buddhism is sitting meditation, and we started with that. And I know that when I'm doing sitting meditation, and I do it 3 times a day, it sure doesn't always feel joyful. Sometimes it has to do, my body's in pain, this monkey mind going on, all this kind of stuff. But I continue to sit with it and stick with it because I'm learning to see things more clearly. So in our song of meditation that we recite every Wednesday, it says, meditation is knowing yourself. Knowing yourself is setting yourself free from delusions. Setting yourself free from delusions is becoming one with what is. Just seeing right here now. Becoming one with what is enjoying formless life every day. And enjoying formless life is seeing yourself everywhere in practice, in happiness and sorrow. So this is a practice that helps us cultivate joy, and a subtle practice. There are more direct practices. Some people keep a joy journal. Does anybody do that? Yeah. Or a gratitude journal?
Yeah, I used to.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And then there are these courses on cultivating joy. Has anybody done that? No? Or you can find a joy buddy. This kind of thing. And one of our former residents especially enjoys music and dancing, loves to dance. And this is a source of great joy. Gratitude is a joy practice as well. And now I'm pausing because the name's not coming to mind. Oh, Tara Brach. Tara Brach encourages us to use this practice called RAIN. Has anybody heard of it? So it's recognize, allow, investigate, and nurture. So you can use this RAIN process when you're dealing with difficult emotions, something painful. Recognize that you are in a state of pain. Just allow it to happen. Investigate what that's all about. And then nurture yourself with loving kindness. Well, Tara Brach says you can also apply the same thing to joy as a method of cultivating joy. So just recognize when you're feeling happy. Allow it. Hey, it's okay. I get to feel joy too. Investigate what it feels like, and just nurture it. So I thought that was also an interesting method of cultivating joy. So now I'm going to be quiet for about the next 10 minutes and pass the microphone around, hoping that you can share your experiences about cultivating joy. What are some of your practices?
Like most of us, I find a lot of joy in nature. And somebody taught me a practice once that when I'm walking around the neighborhood, if I see something that strikes me as beautiful, I stop for 45 seconds and just let it soak in and breathe that in. And something just transforms in my body. My neighbors might think I'm a little out of it, but that's so. But it really seems to nurture me.
Yeah, I think I like to think big. That brings you a lot of joy. So just because all of our problems are really, really, really small in the scheme of things, and so seeing things clearly as they really are, and then the real place in the universe. I think that brings you a lot of joy.
My mother gave me this mala for Mother's Day, actually, and I never had one before. And one of the things that I've been doing with it is counting gratitudes on each bead and really focusing intently on that specific gratitude before moving on to another bead and with real intention. And it's amazing how far I can get doing, like up the necklace, down the necklace, just losing track of time and really realizing how many things I already grateful for.
Lately, I've been looking outside or going outside to water a weed, and I noticed how the squirrels are playing and they're really happy. And so I've just been noticing that they're having fun and they're climbing and they're looking cute and funny. And so just looking around and also hearing different bird songs and trying to figure out what they are. There's so much going on out there that I often ignore. So when I stop to notice it, it really brings me joy.
I like to keep a garden each year, grow my own herbs and vegetables. It really makes me appreciate the taste of food when I'm growing my own stuff. And it makes me take time out of my day to water it and keep it alive, which is, makes me pause from everything else.
So for me, I would say one of my practices that brings the most gratitude is caring for my cat and just being able to hold him and like the way that helps my nervous system relax and just really putting lots of love and care into another being. Also wanted to put in a good word for the Book of Joy by the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu. That is also a very good resource if you're looking to cultivate joy.
This relates to yours. I'm a simple guy, and I have my dog. And he comes up to me and kind of nudges me here and there, and he ignores me other times. Cats are a little more, they ignore you quite a bit. But my dog comes around, and I really appreciate the moments when we do things together, and he's truly can be called man's best friend. I believe that.
I'll throw in another pet-related one. I also have a cat, and my cat just likes to sleep on the floor a lot. And sometimes I just join my cat, and just lay on the floor next to the cat while be tranquil with my cat. It's very peaceful until they don't run the house.
Amen.
So folks are talking about cats and dogs. I'd like to talk about my grandchildren. I'd love to hear stories of their antics. They're at a distance. And so first thing when I talk to my daughters, I say, tell me a story about Eve or Finn or Azure or Violet. And it just brings me such joy to hear about them. Even, they're crazy. It's just...
Okay, good stories. And those are some good practices. So thank you for sharing. It's a little tricky. There's that better. Maybe we just shouldn't move it around too much or something. So anyway, I wanted to bring this discussion to a close here. Some verses from the Dhammapada. Live in joy, in love, even among those who hate. Live in joy, in health, even among the afflicted. Live in joy, in peace, even among the troubled. Look within, be still. Free from fear and attachment, know the sweet joy of the way. So please repeat after me the 4 great vows. All beings, one body.
All beings, one body.
I vow to liberate.
I vow to liberate.
Blind passions, one root.
Blind passions, one root.
I vow to terminate.
I vow to terminate.
Dharma gates, one mind.
Dharma gates, one mind.
I vow to penetrate.
I vow to penetrate.
The great way of Buddha.
The great way of Buddha.
I vow to realize.
I vow to realize.
And that's it.
Yes. Good morning, Buddhas.
Good morning.
Good to see everyone. Thanks for coming to practice with us this morning. I'd like to welcome everyone who's here for the first time, especially if you have questions after the service, you can ask any of us wearing the gray, and we'll try our best to answer your questions. And we encourage you to pick up a copy of our spring and summer schedule, which is a yellow flyer, which is on the table in the room out here. And that lists some things that are going on for the next few months. We also encourage you to sign up to receive our weekly email bulletin. We send out an email once a week telling about what's coming up at the temple. And so there's a sign-up sheet for that if you're interested. I'll just point out a couple of things. We typically have yoga on Tuesday evenings at 6:30. Is it right that this Tuesday is going to be the last session for the summer? Last Tuesday was the last session. So it'll start up again, I believe, in the fall. And you might consider doing that because yoga is a really good way for promoting relaxation and stretching and actually love. And you may ask, what's love got to do with it? But you know, through the process of yoga, it can help us to relieve stress, and it can allow us to be more open to loving kindness in our minds. And Peace Camp is coming up. And so Peace Camp is where we pack up the whole temple and we go out to north of Dexter, around the Howell area, and we just camp out together in tents for a week. And it's super fun. It's simply the best. And in Peace Camp, we do meditation in the outdoors. We do Dharma talks in nature. We cook and eat vegetarian food together. It runs from the last Friday in July until the first Wednesday in August. So if you're interested in learning more about Peace Camp, you can talk to any of us wearing the gray, and we can tell you some more about that. After the service today, for about 15 minutes, we'll be meeting in the backyard for gardening, for together action. Let's stay together. And we can work together in the backyard. And that's just a nice way to promote the Sangha and the community and meet some new people. So we encourage you to do that. After the service today, right after the service, we're going to put away several of the mats and cushions. The ones that are, no?
No, because yoga's not happening. We will leave things.
We're just going to leave things as they are. Oh, that took away my joke. We want to care for the room because the room is saying, better be good to me.
But we have another room that's saying that, the conference room.
The conference room. So will that be another part of Together Action? We can do that, right? Yeah. Okay, so some people from here can help. So when we go into the backyard, some of us can go into the other building, into the Sangha house, and we can move some tables and get the conference room all ready for some events that we have coming up. Good. That's all the Tina Turner jokes I have. Okay. And groups meeting today, Recovery Dharma.
We will be meeting next door in the historic temple, the yellow structure, at noon. Go through the front door and you're there.
Okay. Go through the front door of the historic temple. The temple's supported by your kind donations of time and money. There's a fishbowl right outside this door for monetary donations. If you'd like to volunteer your time, there's all kinds of opportunities to do that. Talk to any of us wearing the gray. And so yeah, please join us in the garden for Together Action. Thank you.
Dr. Sinner, you have a list. Did you want to say?
Yeah, I have a list of the things that we might be doing. Yeah. One is there's a heavy lift of a big chunk of cement that we want to place in a certain, but it's going to take about 5 people to roll it and put it in. So that's one. There's some sweeping to do because the trees have been dropping on the sidewalks everywhere, and there's a couple of brooms for people working that. There's everlasting weeding to do. We keep watering the plants, but the weeds keep getting watered too. What's the difference between the weed and the plant? And what else have I got here? Oh, moving some bricks. We've got maybe 60 or 80 bricks to move, and if a bunch of us work at it, it'll be done in about 10 minutes. Yeah. Even though it's a little, it's actually so cool, right? Outside. And etc. So, yeah, I'll meet you outside. Those of you who are going to stay for a while. It's just 15 minutes. So that if you have other things, you'll be able to go on.
Wow, that's a lot to accomplish in 15. But we'll see what we can do. Thank you for offering this work opportunity. So let's all stand and we'll close with 3 formal bows.
Take
taking a moment to enjoy each other's company, feeling connected to the earth beneath us and to each other. And as we exit today, just a reminder that this month is Gay Pride Month, and there are many parades going on today. So as we exit the Buddha Hall, just in support of our brothers and sisters, be mindful, just mindfully walk with them for a few minutes.